Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be making a wrap peplum top. So for that I'll be needing my fabric, the scissors, tape and a chalk. So let's get into the video. First I'm just going to fold this fabric into two. So guys, as you can see, I've folded this fabric into two here. And the first thing I have to do is to cut out the back part of this top. So I'll first check the shoulder to waist of the person, and the shoulder to waist I'm working with is 18. So I'm going to add 1 inch to it, half inch for the top part and half inch for the bottom. So that will give me 19 inches. So I'm going to mark my 19 inches lengthwise here. The next thing I have to check is to know what my shoulder would be. The shoulder is 18, so the shoulder divided by 2, that's 18 divided by 2, that will give me 9. So I'll mark 9 here, and then from this 9 I'm going to come down this way, just the way you do the normal bodies. So I'll come down this way and check what the armhole is. The armhole is 20, so 20, I'm going to mark it here. By armhole I mean round, by armhole I mean from under the armpit round on top of the shoulder and then come down. So this is your armpit, right? So from here, this is the end of your shoulder, this is your arm. So you're going to put the tape this way and then wrap it around and check what the armhole is. So the shoulder is from one end of the shoulder to the other end of the shoulder. Let's say this is your shoulder. So for that, you have your shoulder 18 inches. I divided it by 2, giving me 9. And then from the point of 9, I came down, divided the armhole I got by 2, giving me 10. That's 20. So from here, I'm going to come down by 1 inch to give me the shoulder slant. And then I'm going to mark for the neckline here, I'm going to mark 3. But remember, this is the back part, because since I'm making a wrap top, I don't have to do the front first. Normally when you're making the normal bodies, you make the front, you cut the front part first, but since it's a wrap top, I'm making the back part first. So from this, I'm going to mark it to join this here. So what I made here is around 3 inches, right? So from here, I'm going to join it to this slant here, this 1 inch that I made here. And then from here, I'm going to mark like a curve for the armpit. And then I'm going to check what the bust is. The bust is 44. So 44 divided by 4. So the bust 44 is 44. 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I'm going to add 1 inch for my seam allowance. So that will be here. Instead of 12, I'm just going to use 12.5 just to give me extra room inside of the cloth. And then for the waist I'm working with is 41. And 41 divided by 4, that will be 10.25. So 10.25, I'm going to add extra 2 inches at the end here because I'm going to give it a dart. So if I add the extra 2 inches, 1 inch is for the dart, extra 1 inch is for the seam allowance. So that will leave me with 12.25. So I'm going to mark it here and then join these two together, right? So let me just go through it again. First, you check the shoulder to the waist of this top, right? From the shoulder to the waist, you check it, and then you add 1 inch to it, and then you check your shoulder, the shoulder divided by 2, and then from the end, you check your armhole divided by 2. You mark it here. Mark 1 inch here for the slant, and then around 3 inches for the neckline. And by these 3 inches, you come down like half an inch here for the back neckline, not up to 1 inch, like half an inch. So this will give me the back neckline. Because normally if this was the front of the top, you might want to come down maybe 5 inches down here, but this is the back, so this is going to be ready to end. and then the bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1, then the waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2. So that is the end. I'm going to cut this out now. So guys, as you can see, I've cut out the back. I've cut it out here. So what I have to do is, with this back piece, I'm going to cut out the front piece. And to make it easy for yourself, what you have to do is to open up the front, the back that you already cut, right? If you open it up this way, what you have to do is to fold it from one end here, like the end of this angle coming for the shoulder this way. You're going to fold it this way, right? So guys, I don't know if you understand. See, from this is where the shoulder ends, right? The neckline coming up here. This is the center of the back neckline. This is where this one ends. This is where this one ends, right? So what you have to do is, from this point here, you fold your cloth in this way, right? Fold it down to the end. And once you fold it this way, this will be your pattern for the front, for the two piece that will make the front, because you know it's a wrap top, right? So you have one piece at the back and two pieces in front. So if you're looking at it this way already, you could tell that, okay, this will be the front panel. So with this now, I'm going to fold my fabric enough and then cut from. So guys, as you can see, this is the top, and then this is the one I'm going to use for the front, the back and the front. So see what I did here? I went ahead and traced it with chalk all over. So now when I pull this one out from this, I already know what my front piece would be. So I'm just going to follow this line and then trace it out. So guys, as you can see, I've gone ahead and cut this out. So when I place it, this is what it would look like, this way for the front, and then this one here will go at the back. But when you are done with yours and you feel like the V you are getting is not wide enough, you can always just flip it, right? Flip it the way you want it to be, and then give yourself enough V, which I think I will do for myself, because I think the neckline is too high. So the next thing I have to cut is the bottom part of this. I'm going to be using pleated flay instead of circle, because the fabric is not enough. So for that, what I have to do is to check the shoulder to waist, which is 18, and then subtract it from the total length of the top. Go ahead and cut out the parts that I'll be using for the pleats at the end of the top, the peplum top, right? So what I did was to measure from the shoulder to the waist, which is 18. I subtracted it from the full length of the top, which is 27. So that left me with 9 inches. And then the 9 inches, I added 1 inch for folding the end, and then half an inch for attaching the top part. So that's 1.5 plus the 9 inches. So altogether, the length of this flay part of this peplum is 10.5 inches. So I'll set this one aside. The next thing I have to do is to cut the sleeve. So to cut the sleeve, so guys, to cut the sleeve of this, this is the fabric I'll be using. So the first thing I'll do, this is one sleeve, and then this is the second sleeve. So basically I just check the length to make sure it will fit into the top. The length I'm using for this sleeve is 9, so I added extra 1.5 inches to it. So with that, I also checked the armhole. The armhole I'm going to be working with is around 20, and 20 divided by 2, that will be 10. So you check and make sure that the 10 will fit in here width-wise, and then you check and make sure that the length you need will fit in. So now that I've folded the fabric, the next thing I have to do is to come down 3 inches here. So that will be this line here, the 3 inches, right? The 3 inches is not what I normally use, like a constant. And then from here, I'm going to mark like an S this way to get the sleeve. And then after that, the next thing I have to do is to check the width of the sleeve down here. And then for the width of the sleeve, I'm going to be using 13. and 13 divided by 2, that will be 6.5, right? So 6.5, I'm going to add extra, let's say extra 1 inch to it, or 1.5. But 1 inch is what you would normally add, but I want to have extra room, so I'm just going to make it 8. So mark it here, and then from here I'm going to connect this line together. So basically what you do is check armhole divided by 2 is the line that you get on this here. First come down 3 inches. After you mark the 3 inches, you make sure that you fit in your armhole divided by 2 here, the sleeve width divided by 2 plus 1, and then you mark like an S down here. So now I'm going to cut this, and this will be my sleeve. So after cutting it, the next thing I have to do is just to, like, I want to notch this end so I can always find the center. So that's the sleeve I'm going to be using here. Gone ahead and attach the whole top, and as you can see, this is the neckline. I folded the end. I used a piece of fabric to make like facing for the neckline. And if you open it up, so if you open up the belt, you see that I gave room for this to pass through here. Like this is one of the belts passing here, and then this one covers all the way here, right? And as you can see, I used pleating for the end. I didn't use like circle. All I did was just to, like, when I was attaching it, I just folded it this way. I just kept picking up the fabric and folding it. That was how I made this plate. It's not really equal, but nobody would notice that. So just eyeball it, and it doesn't have to be like perfect, like the measurements, but all you have to do is just keep folding it as you're attaching it, and that's it. So guys, please, if you enjoyed the video, like, share and subscribe. Bye.